The world of work is changing rapidly, and in this podcast, we're examining the challenges and possibilities emerging within this change. We're talking about everything from labor market information to how to enable the thinking and doing that leads to better workforce development and employment outcomes. This is the Workforce Collective podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Workforce Collective podcast. I'm Caleb Meeks, content creator and marketing assistant for Workforce Collective, and today I'm joined by the newest member of the Workforce Collective team, Jamie Miller, employer and resource navigator. We're discussing the importance and benefits of a diverse workforce, how your Immigrant Employment Council can help, and our all-new service connecting employers to newcomer talent. So thank you for your time today, Jamie.
Thanks for having me, Caleb.
Let's start by introducing you. We're extremely grateful to have you on our team, so welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your journey through community engagement and development? Like, what work have you done prior to joining us around community development and addressing or identifying the issues within?
Yeah, so thanks again for having me, and I'm so glad to be here and a part of the Workforce Collective team. So in terms of my journey and what brought me to Workforce Collective, I've lived and worked in Niagara for most of my life, and through my personal experiences, my work, volunteering, I've had the chance to engage with so many of the amazing people, services, businesses that operate here in our community. And much of my career has focused on social impact and issues such as poverty. And through this, I've seen firsthand the challenges that we're facing as a community. And I've also seen the passion and desire of the people living and working here to really build up Niagara and make it a place where everyone can thrive. And really, the issues facing our community and the solutions are so interconnected. So, we can't address major social issues like poverty without addressing a host of other challenges, including labor force and employment issues. And I really love the direction that Workforce Collective is taking in terms of studying and naming the challenges and then reaching out to the community for solutions and really working to evaluate impact as well. There's so much great work happening in our community, so much knowledge and experience and talent. And by listening and learning from each other, we can work towards common goals to improve and strengthen and get to the root causes of these issues. And I really see collaboration and collective action as what's going to help us move forward through connection and common goals. And this will be a big part of my role. So really increasing those opportunities for connection, specifically with employers throughout the region.
I like how you mentioned the difficult and complex aspect of issues like poverty reduction. Like we talk in previous podcasts about wicked problems, and that's definitely a wicked problem.
Yeah.
So what does your current role with us at Workforce Collective look like? And for those that don't know, what is our new service for connecting employers to newcomer talent that you facilitate?
Yeah, so in this role, I'm helping to lead the pilot of the Employer and Resource Navigation Service. So over the last year, Workforce Collective has worked with representatives from small and medium-sized organizations to identify challenges and develop solutions for accessing, recruiting, and retaining newcomer talent. So this pilot was really developed for employers by employers, and it's a really great example of engaging community to identify solutions. So this free service will support local employers to not only recruit newcomers, but also create welcoming workplaces that will support retention as well. And through this service, we're aiming to create new connections and identify solutions that can be implemented to address labor market challenges in really innovative ways and help employers navigate through the immigrant employment system and support their goals to hire and create welcoming workplaces for newcomers and immigrants in Niagara.
That's really great that we have something that can help employers with that, because
Absolutely.
it's not an easy process, I'm sure.
Yes, it can get very complicated.
Yeah, but it's definitely a beneficial one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for employers looking to access these kind of benefits and to connect with newcomer talent, what are the first steps you recommend taking? Can you give us a rundown of what exactly happens when an employer partners with us for the service?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the first step is to reach out to us and see how we can help. So one of the great things about this service and what employers told us they needed is that it's tailored to the needs of each organization. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a really personalized service and gives employers someone they can reach out to when they're just not sure what to do or what the next steps might be. And when an employer first reaches out to us, we'll start off by meeting with them one-on-one to discuss what their needs are. This could include connecting them with employment services, reviewing their recruitment processes, connecting to training resources, or supporting their move towards a more immigrant-inclusive workplace environment. And in that first meeting, we'll listen to their needs, and then we'll together form a plan of action to connect the employer with the supports and resources that they need and that are available in our community. And we know employers are busy and time is a really limited resource, especially for small businesses that may not have dedicated HR staff to support recruiting and hiring. So we're hoping to simplify the process and show employers that attracting and retaining newcomer talent can be easier than they think.
Okay, so speaking of limited resources,
Yeah,
what if a employer feels that they don't have the financial resources for this?
absolutely. So this is a free service and support that's available, and a lot of the resources that we can connect to are also free. So there are tons of really supports and resources out there in the community for employers. It's just a matter of employers, one, being aware of them, and two, being connected out to those resources.
That's perfect. Okay, so each employer has a different understanding of the benefits that accessing newcomer talent can bring. Some may believe there's much to gain from accessing such diversity, where others may not see the benefits. But despite the difference in understanding, many employers are shaping their workplace to become more welcoming, safe spaces to attract and retain newcomer talent. We recently sat with Colleen Falco, Vice President of Human Resources for Niagara Casino, and this is what she had to say about the benefits hiring newcomers has brought to Niagara Casinos.
I think for all of us in the human resources world these days, we're facing a talent scarcity, and newcomer strategies really make great business sense. Not only because it's a talent pool that's available, but also because when we take a look at the skills and the diversity of thought and competencies and the way that different cultures approach business or approach even just how they provide hospitality, it's really an important business imperative for us as we try to fill gaps in opportunities that we have, vacancies. We've looked for more diverse individuals to come and help support us with our business strategies. It's important that our employees represent our guests. When people come here, they want to ensure that they see people that look like them, that can speak their language, that really help to make it a comfortable hospitality environment. And because we're in the entertainment business, it's important that we do have lots of great representation from all over the world. Right now, we have employees who represent about 800 countries. I know that's hard to imagine out of just 3,000 plus associates. But when you also take a look at the languages, we have a language program where if we have a customer from, say, the Philippines and we need somebody who can speak Tagalog, we can source that out very easily in our organization. And there's over 40 languages that are spoken right now.
That's amazing. They have 40 languages spoken, and I agree with her. Accessing that diversity in cultural things like language and understanding, that's something that you really can't get without bringing in diversity, and newcomers is a great way to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Colleen did a great job of describing those benefits that employers can receive when they're engaging in hiring newcomer populations.
I agree. So, Jamie, in your opinion, what do you believe the benefits of hiring newcomer talent are, and why should employers consider this as part of creating a sustainable business for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And having a diverse workforce has always benefited employers, but it's even more so now. So Canada's labor force growth is stagnating, and immigration is expected to account for 100% or nearly 100% of the labor force growth in the coming years. So employers that are doing that work to intentionally create immigrant inclusive workplaces will be better able to attract and retain talent in the future. Research shows that organizations with diverse workforce are more innovative, resilient, and better able to meet the needs of their diverse consumers, as Colleen was describing. So we really need to invest in building welcoming workplaces for immigrants to help ensure future workforce resilience. So our economy really relies on the ability of our businesses to be resilient, and immigrants are essential to that resilience. So we need to do a better job of recognizing, leveraging, rewarding skills and contributions of immigrants here in Niagara and across Canada. And again, we know that in some cases, particularly with small businesses, there's fewer resources to dedicate to intentionally designing these systems that can target and support newcomers and immigrants. So that's where this new Employer and Resource Navigator service will come into play to help bridge that gap and connect employers to the services and supports that are out there to help make this process easier for them.
That's amazing. Did you say it already does account for 100% or
Nearly,
nearly
yeah.
100%? Wow. Well, that makes sense because Canada is committed to welcoming up to 500,000 newcomers each year between now and 2025. Many of those are coming through economic immigrant pathways, which makes the need for cross-cultural competence and understanding, or what we call intercultural intelligence, in our neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces increasingly important. So speaking to workplaces and employment, employers are an important part of the equation. What support is out there for employers, including business owners, HR, personnel, and people leaders?
Great question. So there is, as I mentioned, a lot of support out there for employers. At Workforce Collective, we're an immigrant employment council. So we're part of a national network of immigrant employment councils that helps employers to attract, hire, retain employees who are newcomers or immigrants. And we're really a collaborative group that assists employers in effectively integrating immigrant talent into the Canadian labor market. So we'll help employers to connect with newcomers who are seeking jobs through our local service providers, and we'll also help them to become more welcoming workplaces for immigrants and newcomers.
Okay, so how can employers access this support?
So they can reach out first to directly to me. So it's Jamie at workforcecollective.ca, or they can visit our Immigrant Employment Council of Canada resource portal at iecc.network/resources. And there's a lot of great stuff on there. There's resources, tools, online courses, everything related to recruiting and onboarding newcomers, intercultural intelligence, DEI strategy. I really recommend checking that out. And again, it's iecc.network/resources.
Awesome. So we've run out of time today, but thank you, Jamie,
Thank
for
you.
your time. Thank you for helping introduce the employer and resource